Do you see yourself as a strong, independent person who's able to handle anything that comes your way? If you answered yes, try speaking and teaching English in a non native English speaking country where you don't know the local language. I think you'll find it quite a challenge, perhaps something that challenges your independence. And as TESL newbies, independence is the one thing that you're bound to lose while living overseas, at least initially. So follow along. I'll explain how and why this is bound to happen. I'm Teacher David, and this is TESL for Newbies. So most teachers of English in non-native English-speaking countries are unable to speak the local language at first, at least for a goodly while. As such, the first thing TESL newbies will relinquish when they arrive overseas in a non-speaking English country, a non-English speaking country, is their independence. Some examples of this loss include the ability to order food, buy clothes, drive a scooter, get a cell phone or the internet, change your job, or even rent an apartment. Will you be able to adjust to these situations? Today, we'll be discussing 4 of these adjustments within a kind of broader context. And in my opinion, every TESL newbie should consider these potential pitfalls before accepting a job overseas in a non-native English-speaking country. So as I've done before, what I'm going to do today is discuss these examples using real-world examples from my own life. So let's get started. First one we're going to talk about is ordering food, something we all need to do. So when I first came to Taiwan, I lived in a town called Hsinchu, a city. And in that city, when I first arrived, I had no Chinese ability, no Mandarin Chinese ability at all. So where does somebody like me go to get some food if they don't want to make something at home? Well, you go to a fast food restaurant. So I went to Subway. Right around from my apartment, there was a Subway. I walked into the Subway, looked at the menu on the board above, looked at all the row of condiments down below, and I had no idea how to order a sandwich. Luckily, the person working behind the counter was kind, even though I still remember it was a female, like a college-age student. Didn't have much English ability. I had 0 Chinese ability. So luckily, as I was saying, she was patient with me. So we kind of pointed here and there. This, yes, this, no, this kind of nonsense. But it got me through it. It got me around the problem of having to order food. But it was embarrassing. I had no independence in that situation. I was basically limited to the kindness, or in a sense, charity of the person working in the store to help me. If they didn't want to, it would have been, I would have just left. So that was a bit of a struggle. A similar situation is when you go to somewhere to order something, food or even something else, and then you get the wrong thing. What do? It's your fault. So an example is, I once went to 7-Eleven. This was years ago. I thought, you know what? I'm going to go into 7-Eleven and buy a few cigarellos because I like to smoke a small cigar once in a while. So I went in there and I thought, okay, I looked in my dictionary, no internet on my phone at that time. I looked in my dictionary to see how to say cigar in Chinese, in Mandarin. I went in, I said it to the guy behind the counter, and he looked at me strangely, and I said again, and he walked away, came back with dumplings. So when I thought I was saying cigar, actually I was saying dumplings. So he looked confused. When he came back and showed me the dumplings, I went, ugh, and I just walked out, forever embarrassed. Yeah, that was frustrating, but that was embarrassing because I needed somebody to come with me then after that, a local who could speak English, to come help me to just order what I wanted. And that became quite a normal thing for me, asking people to help me, to do me the favor of ordering the food or whatever else it is that I wanted for me. Another struggle as a TESL newbie, especially that you're going to have to deal with, is signing contracts. For example, you get to a new country and you want a phone, and you want one that has access to the internet, of course. Well, how do you just walk into a local phone store and tell them you want a phone and you want a contract? You can't do it. Just not enough English ability. They don't have enough English ability, and you definitely don't have enough of the local language ability if you're in this situation. And you're stuck with the only option is getting pay as you go, where you have to go refill a card or refill your minutes, which is fine, but it's a lot more expensive. And you still can't do it on your own. You still need to rely on somebody to go with you to help you. A similar situation is you sign a contract for a job. Maybe you even signed it back home in your own country. You get there, you have to sign now the local language version. You can't read it, but you're still expected to sign it. Well, some contracts have penalties in them for quitting early, and some of these penalties can be unbelievable. 1 month, 2 months pay, gone because you quit early. You decided to quit early, for example. And some of the penalties are actually above and beyond what's legal, but you still sign the contract. So what do? You need somebody you trust to help you sign it, or you just have to have faith that the company you're working for isn't going to rip you off. That's a lot of faith, especially considering you don't know them. Likewise, they don't know you. So if they're bringing you over on an airplane, they're having a lot of faith in you fulfilling your contract too. But the fact is, they can read it, you can't. You have to depend on somebody else, somebody local, to guide you. And hopefully, they guide you well. Speaking of jobs, you need to know that your work visa is linked to your job that you're going to accept. Whatever job it is you're going to take, your work visa is linked to that job. So that means if you decide you want to change a job for whatever reason, it's very difficult. You have not only your work visa, but your ability to stay legally within a country is connected to something that's often called an APRC, an Alien Registration Certificate. So when you change your job, your registration certificate, your ARC, doesn't go with you. The new company, the new school, needs to give you another version, another ARC. They need to sign up for you to have you now legally work for them, which can be fine as long as the transition is smooth. There's a grace period in between, usually a week or something like that, 2 weeks. But the problem is, what happens if you quit your job expecting another school to hire you, and that school decides, you know what? We changed our mind. We don't really want to hire this guy. Now you're stuck in limbo. Your ARC is about to expire, your grace period is nearly over, and there's nothing you can do about it except find any job that will take you as soon as possible. Similarly, often when you get a job overseas from home, there's some kind of lodging included, an apartment or a dorm or something like that. You might find out that you don't like that dorm. But when you're in a new country where you don't speak the language, it is very difficult for you to get your own apartment. You have to sign a contract. You have to talk to the people who are renting. Often they won't want to rent to you because it's too much hassle. So in a way, you're stuck with the company that you're with the school that you're with, because there's nowhere to go, because there's nowhere else for you to live. So you really have to think about the company the school that you're going to accept your work with. Depending on where you move, you might be lucky enough to get a scooter in that country. So here in Taiwan, for example, it is very convenient to drive a scooter around, especially since Taiwan is subtropical. So there are lots of places you can go and you can drive it all year round. That being said, did you bring your international driver's license like I told you to a couple videos back? If you didn't, you can still drive, but you'll be driving illegally unless you get somebody to help you to go get a local driver's license. So again, your independence is gone. You need somebody local to help you because there's no way you can get through that yourself with limited or no native language ability native to that country. And so you're stuck. Or you're driving illegally, which is quite a temptation, but I strongly urge you not to do it. If you're on the road and you don't have a license and you get into an accident, even if it's the other person's fault, technically it's going to be your fault because you shouldn't have been on the road to begin with. So you got to be careful. Likewise, you get your scooter, you have a license, everything is good. You realize, I'm low on gas. You pull up to the gas station. How do you say fill up the gas? And there's 3 kinds of gas. Which one do you need? How do you know? How do you tell the person? Do you just go, and then point to your gas tank? The first thing I did was go, trying to say fill it up, go to the top. So I went back to my school that day, talked to my director and said, hey, can you at least tell me how to say fill the tank? So that way, some super simple, super basic thing that I'll remember, at least that way, when I need gas, I can do it. And I don't have to worry about numbers, money, different things. I can point to the one that I want, the 93, 95, or 97, the kind of octane levels. Or, but I can just say, fill it up. So that way I don't have to worry about that struggle at least. But again, I need somebody to help me because you're not going to find that in a phrase book. No phrase book is going to tell you how to say fill it up. Nowadays the good thing is nowadays with smartphones, it's a lot easier, but it's still embarrassing. It's still a struggle. And under pressure in the situation, you're going to feel embarrassed. So try to practice, get help from locals when you need it, and get prepared. So as you can see, much of your independence, many of your basic abilities as an adult are lost for a good while. The best way to mitigate this, though, is through, before you leave home, as I've mentioned in a previous video, learn some of the local language. Learn what the culture is. Learn what you're going to be expected to handle when you get there. If you do that, it's going to make your life just a little bit easier. It doesn't even mean you need to be bilingual or something like that. Just immerse yourself just enough to get your feet wet. Just jump into the pond. When I was going to go to live in Japan, I just started learning some Japanese before I got there, and just numbers, basic things. And that helps quite a bit. You'll be surprised to find out. All right. So that's it. That's all for today. This is the halfway point. Stage 1 and Stage 2 have now been completed. Excellent. If you've been coming along for the ride this far, I thank you very much. I hope I've done I hope I've included some content that's helped you. And next series, the next stage, Stage 3, is all about getting frustrated. This is, I've included this stage because many people, they get there, they start to get adjusted, but this is when some people, perhaps you, really start to lose it. You get frustrated with everything, and there are some kind of standard traps that you can get caught up in that's just going to make your time overseas horrible. And so I want to introduce you to some of those so that hopefully by Stage 4, you can just be content. You can just be fine. Life is good. you're happy again. You can get past that frustrating point and into just contentment and enjoy your time overseas, however long it is. You might even find it's going to be for a long time, like me, nearly 20 years now. Okay, that wraps up for today. And as you go, I'm going to leave you with some wise words from Seneca. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Bye for now.